In a world where money often built walls instead of bridges stood the magnificent mansion of Alexander Grant, a self-made millionaire whose empire was envied by every businessman in the city, yet inside those marble halls lived a sorrow he could never escape, for his only daughter Emily, a little girl with golden curls and angelic eyes, had been declared deaf since birth by the best doctors money could buy, and while he filled her life with toys, tutors, and therapies, the silence in her world weighed heavier on his heart than any financial burden ever could. So when a young nanny named Claire walked through the giant oak doors for her first day of work, she thought she was stepping into a routine job of caring for a wealthy man's fragile child, but destiny had something else in store, something that would change not only the little girl's life but also the father's soul. Claire was no ordinary nanny. She came from a humble town, raised by a schoolteacher mother who taught her that children didn't just need food and clothes, they needed love, patience, and someone who truly saw them. And from the moment she met Emily, kneeling down to greet her instead of towering over her, she felt a spark that told her this little girl was different, not broken as others whispered but perhaps misunderstood. For while Emily didn't respond to her words the way one might expect, her bright eyes flickered at the faintest of sounds, like the creak of the door or the chime of a clock in the hallway, and Claire's heart stirred with a suspicion she dared not voice. As days passed, she began small experiments, humming while brushing Emily's hair, clapping softly behind her, dropping a block on the floor, and though the staff dismissed these as coincidences, Claire wrote every reaction down in a secret notebook she kept hidden under her pillow, convinced more each day that the child could hear, even if the world had chosen not to believe it. But the mansion had rules, and one unspoken rule was never to challenge Mr. Grant's beliefs, for his word was law, and questioning it could mean dismissal. Yet Claire's compassion grew stronger than her fear, and one golden afternoon when sunlight streamed into the playroom, she gently placed a pair of bright green headphones on Emily's little ears and played a cheerful melody from a small music device, holding her breath as the girl's lips curved into the purest smile, her tiny hands clapping offbeat but with undeniable joy, her eyes widening with recognition of a sound she was never supposed to hear. And in that moment Claire's soul nearly burst with both relief and sorrow, for it meant Emily had been locked in a prison built not by silence but by human error or perhaps by something darker, and fate chose that very moment to push the secret into the light, for Alexander Grant had returned home early from a meeting, stepping quietly into the glass-walled room, his sharp figure framed by the garden outside, and there he froze as he watched his daughter, his supposedly deaf daughter, clap and laugh to music, a sight that stabbed his heart with confusion, hope, and fear all at once. Claire turned and saw him standing there, his eyes wet though his face was stern, and she knew the time for hiding was over, so with trembling courage she explained what she had observed, the little tests, the reactions, the signs that Emily was not deaf but had perhaps been misdiagnosed. And as Alexander listened, his powerful hands shook, the weight of years of sorrow pressing down on him, the memory of countless nights whispering words of love to a daughter he believed could never hear now colliding with the possibility that she might have caught fragments of them all along. And though his pride resisted, his heart begged to believe, so the next day he arranged for independent specialists, ones unconnected to the doctors who had given him the crushing verdict years before. And under their careful tests Emily responded, slowly at first, then undeniably, turning toward sounds, repeating simple words, even giggling when asked to mimic a tone, until the truth became as clear as daylight. She was not fully deaf, her hearing was impaired but never gone, and with the right treatment and training she could live in a world of sound, something that left Alexander shattered. For all his millions he had trusted the wrong people and stolen years of sound from his little girl's life. In the quiet of the evening he sat in the nursery, watching Emily sleep with her tiny hand clutching the headphones Claire had given her, and tears streamed down his face as he realized how blind he had been, how wealth had bought him lies while a nanny's love had uncovered the truth, and falling to his knees beside her bed, he whispered a broken prayer of gratitude and apology, promising to give her the world she deserved, a world filled not with silence but with laughter and music. And as Claire watched from the doorway, she knew this family's story had changed forever, proving that sometimes the greatest miracles are not found in riches but in the courage to see what others overlook. Dear viewers, if this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that love and truth can break through even the darkest lies, then I invite you to subscribe to our channel, because here you will always find stories that inspire, heal, and remind us of the power of faith, compassion, and courage, and your support helps us bring more of these unforgettable journeys to light. So click that button, stay with us, and never miss the next life-changing story.